There were glitches that weren't noticed in the test races at Freeway, resulting in this weekend's track being hosted at Seattle, which hosted race 19 of the Domino's Pizza Truck Series Season 1. I apologize once again, but let's get the weekend started.
Welcome everyone to the SERL Domino's Pizza Truck Series Season 2 Race 4 at Seattle Superspeedway, where we have a total of 37 trucks ready to take on this 2.25-mile superspeedway that is shaped almost, for the most part, identical to Coca-Cola Superspeedway, which the SERL hosts a triple header later on in the season. And there are some things that that I know about this track that I did not know a season ago when we were here for season 1 race 19 in this series. That is, turns 1 and 2 are banked to 30 degrees and turns 3 and 4 are banked to 25 degrees. What this does is that you in turns 1 and 2 you can stay in the throttle much more longer, or you could just go wide open. And in turns 3 and 4 you can't do very much of that, which kind of makes turns 3 and 4 a little bit of a trouble spot, or a couple of corners that could be very hard to survive through. But I think most of the action is going to take place entering turns 1 and 2. And for those that remember season 1, the start finish line is actually, it's sort of like Talladega. It's really close to turns 1 and 2. And last season, this race was won by Riley Smith, who won the race under caution. Well, the race ended under caution, but the thing is, he made a pass in turns 3 and 4 that would eventually give him the win. And I feel like we could see a very similar thing here today at Seattle, which honestly, I think compared to last season, I think could be very much more of a wreck fest. I really do think that. But anyway, when I think back to last week's race at Lime Rock Park, a pretty clean race. But the thing is, there were some drivers that uh, helped make make themselves as names to remember for the next couple weeks. There were drivers who had opportunities to uh, they had the opportunity to uh, turn their season around, or maybe improve in the points, but didn't take it. But unfortunately, the opportunity went away, and there were some drivers that were able to still be very consistent. And And one of those consistent drivers is Luke Walker, who is actually the pole center for tonight's race. He comes into this race with, he only has the points lead by just 5 points over second place in points Dean Orton, which had the opportunity to take the points lead last week at Lime Rock Park, but he got involved in a crash. Peyton Keys third, Andrew Gorman fourth, Connor Breeden, who won last week's race at Lime Rock, went up in the points all the way up to fifth, not eighth. Number six place in points is Kendall DeMel. The 23 Matt Hotchkiss is seventh. 50 of Jimmy Johns is eighth in points. Ninth in points goes to Philip Goldberg, and 10th place in points Garrett Sinor. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I really have to say. So now let's get the trucks rolling off and begin this triple header at Seattle. Here is the starting lineup. So Luke Walker, the Daytona winner and pole center, is on. Not pole center. The Daytona winner and points leader is on the pole. Kendall Maynor, who wasn't in last week's race at Lime Rock Park, and if you go watch that race, you'll understand why. Peyton Keys, he comes into this race third in points. He starts third. Jamie Johns coming in this race eighth in points starts fourth. Ben Braley in the 45th. Lion Mills Jr., the Atlanta winner, sixth. Abe Truxell starts seventh. Charles Billings eighth, the defending series champion. Hayden Jefferson ninth. He starts ninth. And Dean Orton, second place in points, starts 10th. And here is the rest of the starting lineup. I think that over the course of these 20 laps, we're going to see a lot of comers and goers. Because I feel like while this is a super speedway like track, it has the qualities of a track like Michigan or a track like a Landmore Speedway. So, but, but but that's what I think we're gonna see. We could see something completely different. But anyway, coming out of turn number 4 and onto the long straightaway. And as I said, the start finish line, or I think I said this, the start finish line, it's all the way. It's much more. It's not in the middle of the front straightaway. It's really close to turn number 1. But here we go, and the green flag is out for the second season in a row at Seattle. Luke Walker gets out to a great start start and just pulls away. But he's not gonna be able to keep that lead for very long. As it looks like everyone is gonna get to turn number 1 just fine. Oh my gosh, no we're not! Pinky's Hayden Jefferson! Spin through the grass, Dean Orton's taking away some points is involved. And now all of a sudden Luke Walker here, he has lost the lead. Callum Norris up in the wall. And Connor Brewer here, he is pushing Ben Braley here to the lead. And it looks like Ben Braley, he is going to lead all of these caution laps. Coming into this race 21st in points, he could desperately use a good run like this. But who's going to get it? Okay, oh yeah, Ben Braley, he has this in the bag. But already a crash here. I see Lion Mills Jr., Jimmy Johns has damage, Dean Orton, Peyton Keys, William Bedford. Some of these drivers that got involved were up front in the points, you know, top 5, top 10. But it looks like it was relatively a small crash, maybe only like 1 to 2 cars that got some serious damage. But for the most part, we should be fine. Let's take a look and see what happened too. I think it started with Hayden Jefferson coming down or getting turned down into someone. Jimmy Johns exiting the corner here, he was just carrying, it looks like a little too much speed, or got up in the marbles here, hits the wall, that comes down into Dean Orton. Peyton Keys unfortunately gets clipped, and Phil Goldberg also gets some damage here. And then right here, the crusher here, William Bedford and Lion Mills Jr. here, they get the most damage here, and Kenny Hamlin also has nowhere to go. And both Lion Mills Jr. and Kenny Hamlin actually took a pretty hard look into that inside wall. We're gonna rewind this right here and take a look here. Right behind him was Dean Orton. When he gets clipped right here, Hayden Jefferson also just has nowhere to go. So there were a couple drivers. So most of the field just got some minor damage, but drivers like William Bedford, Kenny Hamlin, and Lion Mills Jr. got some more serious damage. And whoa, my goodness, Bobby Una and I think that's Matt Hotchkiss barely just avoided that. But now let's see if we can find some alternative angles or onboard cameras. If you go to the bottom right corner, that's where you'll see the first couple cars go sideways. To me, it's pretty amazing that more drivers did not get involved in that. But let's see if we can go on board someone. One reason Garrett Sinner was able to finish second points was the fact that he was able to avoid crashes like this. Kenny Hamlin was one of those drivers who almost made it. The biggest loser in this multi-car crash, Jimmy Johns in the number 50. He is officially out of the race, and he came into this race 8th in points, so he's definitely going to take a huge blow. But the thing is, drivers like Kenny Hamlin and Lion Mills Jr. and Dean Orton and a couple of these other drivers that got involved in this crash, I have a feeling that they might be slow cars that if we get a long enough green flag run, they could get in the way. But we'll just have to see. Here is the rest of the field. In the many test races we've had at this track, one trend that keeps on happening is that the wrecks keep on getting much more worse as the race goes on. And we'll just have to see if this race follows under that trend. But here we go. Brent Miller here leads us back to the green flag on lap 6 of 25. Connor Breen, he is trying to go 2 for 2 right here. Win back-to-back races in one of the 3 SERL series right here. And oh my gosh, here! He gets clipped! But he saves the car! The other driver saved the car. He saves the car, and he's gonna still be the leader, I think. Is he still the leader? Yes, he is! Oh my goodness, this is gonna be good. Philip Goldberg, Riley Smith, Andrew Gorman, Luke Walker up in the wall. Oh, Ben Braley. Whoa, my goodness, here. How did they keep that car? How did everyone save it? Or did everyone survive? We are still green here. Oh my goodness, that was an amazing save by Connor Breer here. And is he gonna be the leader? He almost led the lap here. He just came short. Kendall Maynor led that lap. Oh my goodness, Garrett Sinor. That was a little close. LJ Mills, Cameron Garlington. Man, they are all over the place right here. Up in the wall. Great. We are getting some incredibly great racing here from all these drivers. And now our leader here is now Blaine Keys in the 88. A driver that really has not made too much noise as far as the point standings are here, but he's now going to get overtaken here by Garrett Sinor. This is by far, as of right now, this is Garrett Sinor's best run he has had since Daytona, where I believe he finished third. And for this 2019, there's a lot of high hopes of redemption coming from this team. But can Garrett Sinor here, and can it win from Garrett Sinor start turning things in the right direction? We'll just hit the steer here. He has pulled out here to a pretty solid lead over the rest of the field. But now right behind Garrett Sinor, we have Club Crafton coming in the mix along with Jacob Reed. Johnny Worth gets kicked up to the way high side. Dale Scott pushing Jacob Reed here. Oh my goodness. We see Bobby Una in the 05 who barely avoided that last crash. I also noticed way back in there Garrett Sinor's teammate Andrew Gorman here up against the wall, but Garrett Sinor here, he will now lose the lead. Oops. Right here too. Okay, he'll lead this lap, but he'll lose it right here this next time by from what looks like Kendall Domel. And here also comes Kyle Kaminsky and Jim Kelly coming into the mix. Jim Kelly, a veteran who won a race. But take a closer. Oh my God! And Blake Keys goes around off the bumper here. And we got a serious picture. Luke Walker, the points leader, upside down, flipping. Matt Hotchkiss also upside down. Oh my goodness! Here, this is gonna be. We're gonna have a huge shake-up in the points after this violent crash. Garrett Sinor here. He is still side by side with the race leader here, but not very much. But not for much longer here. As Kendall Domel, he will now lead this lap. But here comes. But wait, can Kendall Maynor do anything here? Who's got this? Coming to the line. Oh my goodness, Garrett Sinor. He is still going to be your leader. This is so far a great day for Garrett Sinor. With him leading all of these caution laps, plus the couple laps he led just before the last one, he might clinch most laps led. But let's take a look here. Who are the losers? Leah Walker, Riley Smith, Mason Jefferson, Hayden Jefferson, Matt Hotchkiss, Lion Mills Jr., Luke Walker, and much more. Let's take a look and see what happened. Once again, the helicopter is going to give us the best shot of what happened here. So pretty much almost exactly the same thing that happened in the last crasher here, but it was a little different here. So Matt Hotchkiss here makes contact with Johnny Worth, who's in the outside wall here, comes down into LJ Mills, who also clips Blaine Keys here, and from there on, it's on here. Luke Walker here, he first gets pinched up into the wall from Riley Smith, and then here he gets flipped from Daniel Voiles. Mason Jefferson also gets involved. Leah Walker here, Charles Milling gets a piece of it. Abe Troxell, Rona Kedshaw gets some damage. Dean Orton gets some damage as well. William Bedford. I think the Crafton Mine had actually had slowed down just in time. But overall, a pretty violent crash right here at almost the halfway point of this race. Let's see if we can get another angle, or I think we will definitely have a lot of onboard cameras. Watch the chaos unfold down the backstretch. Looks like Luke Walker is not going to be our points leader after winning at Daytona and being the points leader ever since until tonight. And as you can see, he just had nowhere to go. Mason Jefferson was a little farther back, but the thing is, even with being a little farther back, there's just not enough time to avoid a crash like this. drivers like Bronk Hedgehog probably could have avoided the crash, but the problem is that he had faster drivers that couldn't check up in time. Every driver on this list and Daniel Boyles are officially out of the race, putting Charles Bellamy as the last driver on the lead lap. But the thing is, every driver that is on the lead lap right here on this section of the list right here is probably going to be a slower car. So the thing is, now I think we have gone from maybe 25 contenders still left in the race to maybe only about 15. But anyway, Garrett's not here. He is going to lead us back to the green flag. He barely won that battle to the caution flag here. And completing all of these caution laps, plus the couple laps he led just before the caution, he's setting himself in a good position to clinch most laps led. And with a lot of his competitors that were in front of him in the points having some kind of trouble, if Garrett Center can stay out of trouble, this will be a really good point stay for him. But anyway, the green flag is back out at Seattle. The action is not done yet. I think that is certain. But anyway, the thing is, we still have a lot of hungry drivers here. So just Eric Allmarker and Jim Kelly. These are two drivers that really have not made a whole lot of noise so far all season, and now they are up front. The 17, Justin Columbus, kind of the same thing for him. The 08 of Kendall Domino. Actually, I think, in fact, the thing is, I think if the race were to end right about now, I think Kendall Domino, he might be the points leader, but oh no, he's giving up the leader here because he's stuck in the wall. See, I think with turn 4 being being banked less, you get into trouble more often just because you don't always know with being in a pack how much speed you need to carry. Here, but Garrett's he is still your leader. Kendall Minor here, I think Kendall Minor, I think he's just waiting to make a move or get a good run here. Bobby Unit in the 05, he's also been a driver that has had some close calls. Underneath him is DL Scott in the 31, a driver that is not inside the top 25 in points. And right behind him is well, Andrew Gorman and Cameron Gollington. It wasn't too long ago where both these drivers were actually in the wall. Whoop. Okay, that was a little too close. I believe I'm not exactly sure on this, but I believe Garrett Sinner also had a good car here when we were here a season ago, and I think he was one of those winning contenders, but I'm not exactly sure. I might post something on the bottom of the screen to tell you exactly how well he did a season ago. But anyway, we just have 9 more laps to go, and it looks like now everyone is starting to slowly getting up on him right here. As Dale Scott here, we now have a through battle, or almost through battle here for second place. Now it's 3 wide. Garrett's not here. He's staying roughly in the middle lane right here, and I think that lane twister here, it gives him the opportunity here to block most of the field. But the thing is now his biggest trouble is not Cameron Gollington. It's now starting to become Johnny Worth and Philip Goldberg here. One thing that I think Garrett Center would like to see right now is a caution, because that just simply eliminates more drivers that he has to worry about. But so far, everyone right now is leaving each other a reasonable enough amount of room to where I don't think we'll see a caution possibly anytime soon. But I feel like we're going to see at least one more caution. I'm sorry about that, but well, I guess back in the field, Philip Goldberg and Andrew Gorman, they are getting too close. I think they were actually rubbing each other. Well, my goodness, the 0A of Count Domel, he was on the wall here, and oh my goodness, he's going to go from 6 all the way back to outside the top 15, it looks like, with that move. I'm kind of surprised Garrett Center is actually has still been able to lead this thing, but I think at this point, I think it's safe to say that he will clinch most laps led by the time this race is over, whether he gets the win or not. but definitely winning is definitely on his mind. But Cameron Gallatin, he's kind of looking to the inside, just peeking ever so slightly. But in the back of the field here, we have Johnny Worth in the 84, a driver that has not really made too much noise. In fact, I don't think he's inside the top 25 in points. No, wait, I'm actually incorrect, and he's actually 12 in points. So this is actually, so if he can finish right around here, this would actually be a very good points day for him. He could get himself inside the top 10 points easily. So for drivers like Garrett Sinor, Cameron Garlington, and Johnny Worth, if they can finish right around here, this will be a very good points day for them. Especially now we are starting to get now, because the thing is, I think this race is going to be one of the last few races to really gain up a lot of positions, because a couple weeks after this weekend in all three series, the points are just going to start evening themselves out. But so far our top 5 drivers are all single file here, and so far it looks like everyone inside this top 5 is just waiting to make a move. But anyway, as I go up to the front field here, oh my gosh, and we got lead changes here. Cameron Garlington here, he goes to the inside, and Garrett Sinor is going to be left out of the hang. So now Garrett Sinor, he might be stuck on the high side unless he can pull down. Can he pull down? Well, the more these drivers get side by side, the more likely the second pack is going to catch them. But now Cameron Garlington here, he is now going to lead. And Will Club Crafter here, he's up on the wall. That's going to slow him down. Here, the race might be over for Garrett Sinor. Well, let's take a look here. Cameron Garlington, so he now leads this race. Are they any? No, never mind. It doesn't look like we're gonna catch like lap traffic here anytime soon. But now let's take a look here. As we have Eric Almenhart, he's coming back in here. So is Andrew Gorman, Kendall Domino trying to come here. But here comes Connor Breen here. Connor Breen, can he win 2 in a row? He is placing himself in a very good position. But the thing is, will he? He has Andrew Gorman in the 19. Andrew Gorman, the last time we were at Super Speedway, which was the season opener at Daytona. He came so close, but he got past in the last lap right here. And here comes Garrett Sinor back up to the front. The two BK teams are working here, and they click together here. They hook together here, but they come back on the track. Oh my gosh, here, Garrett Sinor up on the wall. He goes around here. Cameron Garlington gets involved. Oh my goodness, this crash is gonna end the race. And what was gonna be a good break for Garrett Sinor and a couple other drivers is now over. But now, the race leader is Justin Delampus. Justin Delampus here. He leads us back to the caution flag. Justin Delampus here. Unless he has an engine failure, he will be the winner of this race. Oh my goodness, what a sudden turn of events for many drivers. But for drivers like Garrett Sinor, Cameron Garlington, Kendall Minor, and a couple other drivers, this was not the way they wanted to end the race, because many of them had spent a large part of their night up front. But let's take a look and see what happened. This all started up front, battle for the leader here, but the thing is, the two BK teammates here of Garrett Sinor and Andrew Gorman here, they were just pushing a little too much, and actually, Andrew Gorman actually scraped the wall just a little bit here, but when they tried to come back on the rear sticker here, Kendall Domino already had that spar here. If they're on the leaders, just wreck right here. Eric Almenhart gets some damage. Kendall Minor gets some damage here. Andrew Gorman actually comes back and gets a piece of it. Garrett Sinor continues to get more damage here. Johnny Worth gets some damage. Philip Goldwood gets some damage. Dale Scott, I think, got some damage. Jim Kelly gets involved. Someone hit Philip Goldberger here like extremely hard, because I saw him spinning a lot. So he, he gets hit by Jim Kelly kind of hard. Did Dale Scott save it? He just like, oh, but oh my goodness, that was actually an impressive save by Dale Scott. But anyway, let's see if we can go on board some drivers. Even though Andrew Gorman is going to finish in second place for the second Super Speedway race in a row for season 2, I think what he wanted the most was definitely a win. And the thing is, he almost got it, and I don't think he expected this at all, especially from his teammate Garrett Sinor. Cameron Garlington was in a position to really gain a lot of points, but unfortunately, you have to survive all 25 laps, and the thing is, he only survived the first 20 laps. Who seriously saw this coming? Justin Talampas, his winning move of the race, unless he's an engine failure, was avoiding this crash. Some drivers involved in that crash were able to keep on going and they will get like top 5 or top 10 finishes, but other drivers had to come down pit road and they will finish outside the top 20. But for Justin Columbus, he was one of those drivers that did not have to worry about any of that, and he will be the winner of this race. Can he carry this? Can he carry this win and momentum into the R2 series? Because the thing is, uh, unlike last season, where the only time we were at this track was for this series in season 1, all 3 series are coming to this track. And the thing is, I have a feeling that the racing in those 2 series is going to be a lot like the racing we saw today. But man, even though we are this early into the season, and mathematically and even realistically, we could a champion could be any one of our 37 drivers. This is a huge game changer. But anyway, Justin Galabas wins Season 2, Race 4 at Seattle. But anyway, as I fast forward here. So here is the finishing order. So the finishing order here: Justin Columbus, Andrew Gorman, Aiden Saunders, Kyle Kaminsky, Cameron Garlington, Abe Troxel, Connor Breen, Dale Scott, Clive Crafton, Garrett Sonor. That is your top 10. And here is where everyone else finished here. So the biggest losers are here towards the rear of the field. Definitely Luke Walker was definitely, I think, the biggest loser of the day. But then because also drivers like Payton Keys and Jimmy Johns also had a pretty good opportunity to gain points and possibly even be the points leader. But unfortunately, getting caught up in accidents like this is definitely going to cost you. And for drivers that did not DNF, drivers like uh, Jim Kelly, Johnny Worf, well, they were drivers that were running very up and high up until that very last crash. Uh, and then and then their drivers are here like Garrett Zenor. I think Garrett Zenor, he had a car that could have won that race. And the thing is, he was coming back, but the thing is, pushing it a little too hard, a little too early, cost him that race. But the thing is, it wasn't just Garrett Sinner. Connor Breeden had placed himself to possibly win 2 races in a row. And the thing is, the only time I remember that happening in all of the SERL last season was when Jim Kelly did it. I think first at Kansas and then at Coca-Cola, or maybe it was the other way around. And that was early in season 1 in the Hot Wheels Cup series. Cameron Gollinson, he also placed himself to win, and he'll finish 5th. I think he also could have won that race, and a couple other drivers, but for Justin Columbus, this was just overall a great day, and I think this will be a win that I think he will remember for the rest of his life. But anyway, as I show you where everyone else finished once again, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race, and be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy. Congrats to Justin Columbus.